Yeah, I will say with this lifestyle, you have to get better at saying no to things that, I mean, I'm not going to say things that just don't serve you, but definitely that,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like also just quite frankly, things that you don't want to do.
Right. Even now, like going back to your story, 3 months in, you would handle that situation entirely different now. But, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You probably shut it down now. Probably like, hey, I don't appreciate those kind of comments. Or, yeah, you have to.
Well, at this point, I'd be like, my wife is in the other room.
Right. Right.
Can
I'm
you
like,
calm
yo,
down?
Don't get glizzy going.
I think at a certain point, though, you also stop attracting like certain,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, different demographics of tattoo collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But
Yep. I mean, honest, I can't lie. That's kind of been the goal because I have,
yeah.
I have an idea client,
Yeah, for sure.
and
Someone that spends X amount of money, that shows up on time, that does,
that cares about quality work and
Yeah.
will pay the price for
for
it.
sure.
And won't reschedule.
Yeah.
Still working on that one.
Yeah. Yep.
You got any more crazy stories, bro?
Man, I wish I could just recall everything that's ever happened. Because,
It's
like,
so
all,
hard.
all of the exciting, energetic days at shops where stuff happens, and, like, there's a few stories that kind of I hang on to, and everything else gets on the back burner.
Yeah.
So when I worked at Salty Siren in Greenwood, and this wasn't even in the shop, but it kind of just, it has to do with it. So one night after work, I think the last person there, late at night, and closed up, walked outside, and then there were these people walking down the street, like right by where we parked our cars, and it was like a man and a woman, and I was just getting in my car, and they kind of hollered at me like, hey man, is there any way we can catch a ride? And it was freezing balls outside. That's why. They were walking down from a bar that was down the road to like a hotel, maybe a mile up the road or something. Not too far, but far enough to where it was super cold out. So they're like, hey, is there any way we can get a ride? Like, it's freezing. And I was like, yeah, just go ahead and hop in. Perfectly nice people, but they had been drinking at the bar. And like I said, it was a man and a woman. And so we pulled down the road. They were like having some weird, wild conversation in the car. And then we pulled up to a gas station, and the hotel that they were staying at was like right behind there. So they were like, yeah, just pull up here, and then we'll go ahead and like, we'll just walk around the gas station and hop in the hotel. It's right there, rather than kind of pulling all the way back there type of deal. So I was like, all right. So we pulled in the gas station, and then before they got out, I don't know how we got on the topic, but they're like, sorry, we've been drinking, man, blah, blah, blah. And then they invited me back to their room to do some drugs with them. I don't know what it was. But they were like, yeah, we're just going to go hang out and get high. Like, you want to come? I was like, no. Thanks for the invite. Like, I'm good. Pass. And then the dude, I don't know if they were married or what, but he was like, my girl will have sex with you.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, thanks for the offer, but I'm just not interested, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I got to say, And he was like, all right, man, but she's real good at it. And I don't care either. He's like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be the first time. Like, we're just partying, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Wild.
he's like, but she can do this and that. She can suck your dick real good. And I was like, dude, I don't.
Pass.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, man. I'm just not into it, but y'all have fun. You know what I mean? And then so they kind of got out, thanked me. They were nice people, but they literally were just like partying, trying to get me to come back to their room.
Wild.
So the rest of the story, the next day I went back to work and I told everyone what had happened. I was like, so check this out. Last night, gave these people a ride, blah, blah, blah. I told them the rest of the story. And then it was just a ongoing joke for a minute of like, they're like, man, you could have been molested by those people, or like, you know what I mean? They were like, why would you pick up some like drunk meth heads off the street, you know what I mean, or whatever. And I don't know, they just cracked jokes about it for a minute. So I was like, yeah, well, just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
they were nice. They just were, you know,
Everybody want a
Too
piece of that
nice.
T-Rizzle.
Too
they were
nice.
just a little too nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like all the stories have like compiled together to almost desensitize things that happen now.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like after so many things happen, you're just desensitized to it.
Yep. 100%, dude.
Yeah. There's only like so many latex jokes and like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, that just kind of happens with everything.
Yeah.
Like, even being around certain people, you're desensitized to stuff. And
I feel like Reed did that.
Yeah.
Reed's
Dude,
silly, bro.
I know you guys got some Reed stories.
We just got to have
Dude,
him on
I was
here
going to
one
say,
time.
just
Yeah.
have Reed on here and like that.
He's going to
would
have a
do.
Netflix special one day.
Yeah, he'll have a Netflix special one day.
I have not been to any of his recent comedy
I think
events.
he has one coming up, doesn't he?
does have one coming up
Yeah.
at the
Comedy,
Comedy
Attic?
Attic. Yep. In
Yeah.
Bloomington.
Bloomington. That's
Yep.
like his spot, right? His normal.
I think
He's
so.
Done a handful
Yep.
there, and I
There's
went to a couple in India as well.
yeah.
Helium Club.
Yep.
And I can't remember all the other ones, but
You remember that one time we went to show up for him, and then I can't remember. The place wasn't even open or whatever. I think they like tried to front on him, and we ended up just going.
I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go?
I wasn't there for that one.
Oh man! So this is like the only really time that I got to go to any of his stuff because it's always like in the middle of the week, and I always have like a big S tattoo the next day. And he ended up going there, and there was nobody there at all. It was like right next to the Greenwood Mall, and then we ended up just going to the Greenwood Mall, and he performed there for us.
Just like
Cool.
in the middle of the mall, right?
Yeah, just in the
Yeah.
middle of the mall.
That's cool.
He's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Well, I just remember like Good Vibrations back in the day when Reed was in there quite
All the-
often hanging
all the
out
time.
all the time. And he would, well, it was like you guys' ongoing joke to just be super mean to him.
Definittle not me.
Not
and
me.
and
but,
sometimes that got
yeah.
taken far, didn't it?
Did get taken too far a few times for sure. To the point. Sometimes Reed likes to do things. I mean, he's a natural comic. I think just in his everyday
Yeah.
life. So, he will also push the boundaries with everyone too.
He'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, that, but let's add this to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So let's one up it.
Yeah, he's done some wild stuff. There
Yeah.
was like one person though that I felt like took everything a little too far.
For
but
sure. Yep.
Won't say that name.
Yep.
Anywho,
Yeah. I saw multiple videos of like it'd be him and someone else just like basically wrestling on the ground in the middle of the shop,
That was
like
him.
rolling
Oh,
around
that
on
was
the
wild.
ground and
Yeah.
it's just like what
He would
is
just,
going
like,
on over
He
there,
would go
dude?
up and hug people and just dead weight them.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah.
yo, do you remember whenever he used to show his little pictures? God,
Used to. I think that's still happening.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Reed, stop.
Yes. Stop.
Stop what? Pictures?
Look, he used to.
Just don't open a Snapchat from
Yeah,
Reed.
don't open a Snapchat.
We don't.
or
Want,
any
we don't
have
pictures.
We don't want to
Snapchat,
put him
dog.
out there like that. Just don't do it
Yeah.
though.
Snapchat's trouble. I'm not about that.
Yeah.
A cheese bandit.
Yep. Cheese bandit. God.
Dude,
But-
yeah.
I do remember something about that.
There was a whole Facebook group. 'cause
Yeah,
He had like,
yeah.
I don't know how it even started. He was like stealing cheese. This whole thing. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think he like ate his like mom's cheese or some bullshit like
Oh,
that.
his dad's. That's what it was. He stole his
Oh.
dad's cheese out of the
Yeah.
fridge, and it turned in this whole rumor that Reed just
Chad
went
got
around
his ass.
stealing cheese everywhere.
Okay.
They had like a whole group over it, and people would message him like daily on it. It's so funny.
Yeah. Well, I got invited to whoever created the Facebook group, probably you. But
No, I
No,
didn't
no.
know.
okay.
No.
Well, whoever did it, I got invited to the group and joined it, and I was like, I guess I'll just get in on this thing. But
I got invited to it after there was like already 1,000+ people in there. I think.
Wow.
Yeah. It was wild, but I don't know. I'm super thankful for Reed though. Actually, so he had actually loaned me money to put the flooring in my first studio at that
Okay.
time. So I'm super thankful for him, and like he's been getting tattooed by me since 2016, I think. Yeah, like right when I started in the studio.
cool.
Yeah, Reed's a good guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. He is definitely funny.
Yeah.
It's always a trip whenever he's around.
Yeah.
Dude, it's good to have people like that, friends like that.
Yeah, for sure. And
Just like it doesn't matter what kind of mood you're in, being around him will lighten up the mood a little bit.
yeah, for sure. Always brings a light to it. And
I feel like there was a crew that would come in like religiously. It'd be like Kyle and Reed and
Chad, Patrick for a little bit.
yeah, Patrick. All of them would just come in, and it'd just be an eventful day.
And somehow they would all get scheduled on the same days.
Yep.
So like they all, and it was really cool because they eventually all just like became friends outside the studio too. None of them knew each other prior.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was.
I'm
wild.
thinking Patrick Sullivan, Reed, Kyle Brooks,
Yep. Cher Palmer was in there.
Cher
a lot.
Cher
Palmer,
Palmer,
Chad
Chad Denton.
Yep.
There's another one too.
Was there another?
I don't even.
Trey Perkins.
Trey was in there a little bit.
Yeah, Trey for a little bit, and then
Not as like heavy as that group
No.
of people.
Okay,
like-
but yeah, that group of people, like they were, like it was like every time I was there or would stop in or anything, somebody was there, and so they all like collectively just religiously got tattooed there, and also like I feel like just really heavily promoted the studio, and they
For
still
sure.
promote all
Yeah.
your stuff.
They're all super
yeah.
supportive of everyone that worked in any of the studios.
It's like having a street team. Like
Yeah.
companies have these things called street teams where it's just like ambassador teams or promoters.
right.
And it's like you pretty much naturally had one of those with just
Yeah.
a few of those people that
For
were like
sure.
diehard clients of
Yep. They had their own little bets going on. Cher and Chad were trying to see who could get more tattoos in the whole year,
okay.
and
They
they
were
were
in there a
going
lot.
at it. Like,
Yeah.
And they weren't getting small tattoos either.
nope.
And then I think they slowly started to move to smaller tattoos because they realized they could get more tattoos that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who won that. Do you know who won?
I have no idea.
Did they both bow out? Because I don't.
I'm not sure. I think they ended up like getting like a rowdy credit card bill. You know what I mean?
I'm sure they did, yeah.
don't
I
know.
have no idea though. But that was wild. Cher though, she was a freak of nature, dog.
Yeah, Cher
She could sit.
sleep through anything. Yeah, we did a collab on her.
Didn't even phase her.
Nope. Tattooed her ribs for like 8-9 hours.
Slept.
Slept the whole time.
Nuts.
Yep.
I was damn near in tears on my back of my leg.
I got those videos. Should link those.
If I would, he said should leak those.
Dude, speaking of ribs, I'm like not excited to ever get that done. Pretty
No.
much my whole torso, because that's what's left on my upper body is like underneath my chest. Now that I got my back done,
Yep.
I basically need to go from side, wrap around to the other side of my back and connect everything. And that's all it's this whole torso section
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah. What's that? So your back's been your worst.
I don't know. That's one of those questions I almost just can't answer.
It gets hard at a certain point because I feel like I don't know, hour 1 of my back wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Hour 12 or wherever we ended that day, that was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard. If we would have started that at that spot, it wouldn't have been as bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard because my chest sucked really bad. My neck, certain areas of it was really bad. I have one head tattoo. That one from the get-go was really bad. Might have been my worst, and it was only a 2.5, maybe 3 hour tattoo.
Yeah.
But everything else, it's like if you sit for 10 hours on anywhere except an arm, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It can, because that's pretty much easy getting arms tattooed, in my opinion. But anywhere else on the body, it's like if you sit for like 10 hours, it gets bad no matter where it's at. It just gets raw. And so I think we just did that so much on the back because it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
There were definitely some spots that sucked, but I don't know if it was the worst. It was just, it definitely got to
It's a long
that
process.
It got to that breaking point for sure.
Yeah. The point where you want to quit and
Mhm.
you're not going to. That's the hardest part to break through in those sessions.
It's a mental like struggle.
100%. Like knowing you're able to just get up and walk away right now, be
Yeah.
done. I don't have to sit through any more pain, and you choose to still sit there.
Yeah, I was questioning my whole life.
Yeah,
Like,
I felt every emotion getting my back worked on. And
Yeah,
I'm not
dude,
done.
it honestly is crazy, and that must be like the torture technique people talk about. As far as I don't know, there's crazy people out there who are like it's purifying and this and that, and it's like some people almost probably get tortured as like forms of worship, and in certain cultures or religions, and I'm not about that, but if that's how it is, to where like like I was questioning my whole life decisions on where I was at. Why am I still doing this, putting myself through this?
Yeah.
And it was towards the end of my back because we were at the top at that point, and it was like probably day 7, day 8 of it or something. And it was a really bad point at the end of like day 2 on a 2-day session. So just raw, you know what I
Right.
mean? Super bad. And I remember laying there and I was like, why am I still doing this? I could get up and be done right now.
Yep. I was super inspired to do it with the mindset of like surrendering through Jeff Gogway's Surrender. It's a documentary on YouTube. If you guys haven't watched it, you guys would probably both really enjoy it. But it's his process of getting his back down. And he was like, just like you're surrendering to everything. Like you're surrendering to the artist, trusting them. You're surrendering to the pain and everything you're going to go through mentally. Because it's like, from what I took away is like kind of how the Japanese view getting their backs done. It's like you're surrendering.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely wild.
Yeah,
Not
man,
bad.
it definitely threw me for a mental loop.
Yeah. You got any of those, Slater?
What?
Any of those struggles where you want to quit getting tattooed, or what was your worst
Everyone.
Everyone.
As soon as I start, I'm like, shit, I don't know why I did this.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And it's like that every single time, and you keep doing
And
it.
usually it's because I travel. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, I can't come back again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Might as well just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
My fingers were like that.
Yeah.
They were like
From-
8 hours, and then
Josh.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got like this whole hand done, and I was like, I think I might have to call it. He was like, well, go eat. Let me know. Went outside, ate, and I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's just get it out of the way, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do it.
I mean, it kind of like builds character a little bit. It's like digging holes, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think you can learn a lot getting tattooed. A lot about yourself. I
Oh,
learned
yeah.
a lot about myself getting my back done.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
you really do. And when I say like I was thrown for a mental loop, it's like
Yeah.
you question a lot about yourself, the decisions that you make and have been making, where you're headed.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, dude. Especially in that back position, I wasn't doing anything except for like my head was just down in my arms.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'm laying there flat. Like
You just
I'm
had
not.
nothing but
I wasn't on my
think.
phone. I wasn't necessarily watching TV because the TV was the other way. And sometimes you can, but other times it's like you almost have to get through it. You almost have to just like put your head down and like strain. You know what I mean? Just like focus super hard, or else you're not getting through it. And it was in that time where I was like, just all sorts of thoughts going through my head.
Yep. I counted a lot. Like I just got into like meditation and breathing.
Were you counting
techniques.
stuff on the ceiling and like this and that? I've done that before when getting tattooed.
That was a cool thing because Chris Buckholz is on my back, and the studio is just littered in tattoo flash. So like there's plenty to look at, but at a certain point it doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just there with the pain and getting through it. But that was a cool thing about just being surrounded by stuff. But yeah, I don't want to finish it. I do want to finish it, but I don't want to sit through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to get mine started.
Your back?
Yeah.
Oh.
Still having
What are you getting done on your back?
Huh?
What are you getting done on your back?
No idea. I just know I want it done.
You trying to let me and Matt collab?
I need you to pick up
Hey.
pace.
Hey.
That ain't happening, dog.
I got old nasty Nigel to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, old
Nick
nasty
Hido,
Nick's gonna
raw
do it.
dog.
Yeah, it'll probably be some neo-tratty shit.
Cool.
Maybe I might end up changing my mind on who does it. You know what I mean? Especially after like meeting so many artists. There's this like one guy doing this fucking sick ass neo-traditional back piece while we was there at Orlando, and it made me rethink. Like somebody sick can do some wild ass shit on there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the earlier artists, I still follow him. His name is Kubek. His Instagram's like Kubek WT Wolftown Tattoo. I think it's in Slovakia or something like that.
Yep, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he does that neo-trad, but he's like really into like he just has like an army of people at this point that it's like full back or like full body suit esque
Yeah.
stuff he's going for, you know. And his stuff it's definitely still tight. But when I first started tattooing, I wasn't planning on going into black and gray. That naturally happened. Like it chose me.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
remember that.
And I strongly feel that. Like I didn't choose it, like it chose me. But I wanted starting out, I was making the little neo trad flash and stuff. And that's what I wanted to do was like what Kubek was doing. Like I wanted to do like dope, large neo trad.
Yep. I think it's super interesting because I feel like I don't know anyone who really got into tattooing that they're like they're gonna work on just this niche area. What styles were you attracted to when you got into tattooing?
Black and gray.
Black and gray, yeah. You got an award. I guess we were at the same show.
Yep,
But
Louisville.
we didn't meet that weekend. But yeah, I remember you got an award for a black and gray tattoo.
Yep.
That weekend. Yeah, I wanted to do nothing but American traditional, and that was it.
Yeah, so I started out with black and gray, and then that's all I wanted to do. I was like, I ain't fucking doing color. And then I went to this other, I went
Little
to this,
did you know.
Yeah, little did I know. And I went to this other shop, and they're like, okay, you're doing nothing but traditional. I'm like, fine, I'll do it, whatever that pays the bills. And then that's whenever I met Nick, and then Nick got me into the neo trad, and I started doing a little bit of neo-ish shit, and then anime.
Yep. It's funny how things happen, man.
Yep. I don't think any of us thought we'd be tattooing either,
Yeah.
No,
like ever.
Nope.
no.
It's another one of those things, kind of how you said it chose you. I definitely feel like tattooing chose me. Like, no matter what, I was probably going to end up tattooing, is how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's interesting to think about. I mean, it's crazy to think about where any of us would be without tattooing.
I couldn't even fathom it.
Yeah.
I really can't at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Be super unhappy working in a factory or something.
what
I mean, I was trying my hardest to get out of that, doing video work, doing
Yeah.
music production, all that stuff. So it's like I wanted to do creative things, but not everything is super lucrative. You know what I mean?
Right.
And tattooing, at least for the time being, and now, it is very lucrative as far as art. Like a lot of people that go to art college and whatnot, it's like, well, after that, so many of them never do anything with it because it's like the only jobs available is being an art teacher at a school. And if you don't want to do that, it's either that or be a professional artist. And you have to be so good to be a professional artist that it's like it leaves you in this middle range to where there's not a lot of opportunities. And tattooing has been one of the better art opportunities to actually make money and build a career and a life. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, people don't really buy paintings and stuff as much anymore to
No.
like decorate their houses or like anything like that. So,
And if they do, like so many people paint, but to actually build a name as a professional painter is like, that would be so hard to break into.
yeah, I feel the same way with like photography. I feel like that would be such a hard niche to break into, to like set yourself apart in any fashion.
I feel like any other kind of art medium is artists recognize artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, especially with like paintings, because like I'm sure you probably have some tattoo paintings or whatever around. You know, I know you have some in the studio, probably at your house too, maybe. But nobody else is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's definitely people collecting art and stuff still.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's anything like years past. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
People might be.
Even like whenever I go to like those tattoo conventions, I don't see many people buying like prints. I don't see like at the Orlando show there was like a lot of fucking like custom paintings and stuff like that, and nobody was biting on any of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I thought a lot of it was cool, but I'm not gonna spend money where I'm not making money. unfortunately.
I was a successful painter and artist for 3 months during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It really did. Like I did nothing but commissions like the whole time, and then after it was like, oh yeah, no one wants commissions anymore.
Yeah. Now they want
remember.
tattoos from you
now they want
instead.
tattoos again. Yeah.
Hey man, it's a good, even if it only was for that stage of life,
was
and
cool.
like,
Yeah.
you know, it's still it was cool to be able to have that skill to spend the time honing in on it and also make money doing it.
Yeah, I loved it. I learned a lot about art. I came back. I feel like I came back better after COVID because of all the time I just spent. Like I just got to have summer vacation, painting and drawing. I drew a lot of portraits. I was definitely burnt out on drawing like portraits and stuff. But
I continued to tattoo.
yeah, you did. You didn't tattoo a whole lot though.
Huh?
You didn't tattoo a whole lot though.
I had Secret Lotus. I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Until cops ran in. But
yeah.
and then that'd be
Cops
the
running
basement.
in.
My basement.
Yeah, dog.
It's open for business.
That right. COVID.
Keep the cat out.
Those shutdowns be a whole episode.
Yeah. Yeah. COVID could be a whole
That was a wild
series.
little time.
Yeah, I mean, and I wasn't tattooing. I didn't start till after COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that episode would be mostly you guys.
Yep.
But I'd love to hear about it.
Young guppy.
Yeah.
Young guppy.
Do you guys any other shop stories come to mind, like crazy stuff that's happened?
I've heard some stories about you sharing about people tied up.
What?
Oh. I don't know how well I can approach this one without names. So
Try your hardest.
I worked at a studio in Kentucky, and
Sorry for throwing you on the bus, dog.
no, it's good. So one guy,
I mean, you don't want to ruin any relationships, so you don't have to say it if you don't want to. If you're like, so-and-so is going to know I was talking about
well,
him or
most of
whatever.
them I don't care about anyways. That I used to work with there, you know what I mean? But there's like one person that's like, he's a bigger person in like the suspending and like, you know, like body mod field.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But said person was into drugs, you know what I mean? Was selling and doing all kinds of shit. And somebody stole X amount of product, and we'll do person A is a person that has all this product. Person B is the one that is going to take care of person A's problem.
Okay.
So person A approached person B with this problem, and person B is like, all right, fuck it. Found out where dude stays, lives, all that shit. Ended up basically kidnapping him and tied him into the basement of the studio.
The tattoo studio?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And it was just to get all that money and product back, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got the product back, but yeah, it was at a studio I worked at, and he was like tied in the basement. I don't think he wasn't in there when I was there. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It happened right before I got there.
That would be wild. You're sitting there literally just tattooing, like going to work, and then in the basement right now, there's some dude tied up.
Muffled help.
The guy. Your client's like, what was that? I keep hearing that. Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
No, that's dude in the back, whatever, you know.
He does that
Yeah, I'm
sometimes.
pretty sure so they had like poles and stuff down there. So he's like down there, hands like fucking locked up, shit in his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. Same place. I had to there was always like shit happening there. And I went in one morning there. They had switched the codes for the lock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't tell me. So my code didn't turn the alarm system off. Cops are on their way, you know what I mean? Because it notifies them. I go into one of the booths, and there's like cocaine everywhere. I'm like, fuck. Cops are coming. Cocaine's all over the place. I don't know what the fuck they did last night.
Mm-hmm.
I just grabbed the trash can, just get that shit off. Cops come. I got fucking the owner on the phone. I'm like, yo, I don't fucking know what this is, blah, blah, blah. Can we get this taken care of? And yeah, just a big mess. That place was a mess.
Sounds
Dude.
like it.
It was.
It's just, and it's unfortunate because, I mean, it's fun to hear stories and stuff, but like, there is that stigma around tattooing and tattoo shops that still carries over to like today's generation of tattooers. And it's like, it doesn't matter how professional you operate, how much money you make, you know what I mean, what your current studio looks like. It's like you'll talk to, and I know this from experience, it can be difficult to find a nice space for rent or whatever that is for a tattoo shop that like you want to start a shop there.
Yep.
And then the building owners don't want anything to do with tattoo shops because they have this image in their head of like the 90s tattoo shop stigma that was like drugs in the back and smoke rolling out the front and bikers lined up in the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like unsterile, just party atmosphere.
Yeah, there's still a
it's
huge
like-
stigma on it.
Yeah, there's still that stigma among some people, and it's because of stuff like that, because you have literally experienced it. Like you came into work one day and there's literally cocaine like in the booths and it's a mess and the cops are on their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you, but it's just like,
But by association.
Yeah. I was the
Yeah.
only artist there, you know what I mean? Because I always show up super fucking early.
yeah.
So,
And
I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, and I understand that, like, you know, some people kind of love that, like, era of the tattoo shop. If you're, like, a older dude, you know what I mean, who's
Screw
been
that.
around a long time, that's, like, fond memories for them. Like, the industry used to be way better. Kids don't know these days. But because it was like that then at a lot of places, it is now ruining it for me
Yeah.
because I have a hard time, an impossible time finding a place for rent in my own city
Yeah.
because no one wants a tattoo shop there. And I'm like, what am I can show them any credentials that they want to know. If it's finances, if it's like previous
Criminal record, whatever.
criminal record, previous history. It's like, look, I'm just an artist and I'm a serious one. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
We keep a clean atmosphere. Here's how much money came through the studio last year between all the artists. Like, what else do you need, you know, to realize like we're serious about
This
it and
is a
we're not like
business,
on
yeah.
drugs or something crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like there's some people you can't tell.
Yeah, well, then that stigma's bled into like contracts too. Like, I don't, from what I recall, and this it could have changed, but I remember a few years ago, like Starbucks, they would not allow you to be in the same strip mall. They would not, in their contract, they wouldn't have a tattoo studio if you were connected. Period. And
Really?
then, yeah, well, even for a long time, you couldn't even have tattoos and work at Starbucks. And I just read something this morning. I would definitely fact check it because I don't know. I don't trust everything on the internet, obviously. But
It's too bad because tattooers and tattoo clients all drink coffee.
Heavy.
yeah, right. Well, what I was saying is that I read something this morning that they're no longer allow visible tattoos at Disneyland.
Disneyland?
Yeah, unless it is from
That's probably a little fake because you know how much clientele you're going to lose off that.
Well, it said something about to promote that there's going to be a tattoo studio there now, and it's basically if you have a tattoo that you got there, you're allowed to.
That's
show it.
lame.
I don't know. I would fact check it, obviously, but I thought it was interesting. Like, it's still that stigma bleeding into, even if it is fake news, there's still like a stigma there.
Well, if Disney does that, that might be the fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard them do.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I go to Disney, a lot of tattooed people.
Oh, guarantee it.
A lot of tattooed people.
Yeah, guarantee it.
Especially, like, in Orlando. Well, Disneyland and Disney World's a little different.
Yeah.
But I've never been to Disneyland. But I know at least Disney World, I mean, Orlando has so many tattoo studios there. And a lot of them, I mean, they fucking have season passes there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would suck for them if they did that.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's fun hearing those stories, but it sucks that someone doing drugs out of a tattoo shop back in the day limits my ability to, you know, be a professional tattoo artist in some people's regard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
To be taken seriously as like a fine artist.
Yeah, just as a business, like if you strip tattooing away from it entirely, and just because you're adding tattoo to it now, it's not okay.
Mhm.
If you were just going to open up a business, like a coffee shop, it'd be completely different. But
Yeah.
I don't know, or even if you want to just go in there and paint pictures, they'd probably let you do it. I
Yeah.
know some people that have used that as a loophole to start an art studio and just tattoo out of it locally.
A lot of places around here, they're like, oh, this is office space and office space only. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, it also hasn't been rented since I fucking lived here. So,
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with like
Keep it that way.
zoning laws. If
Huh?
I'm probably zoning laws is probably why.
Well, one's like right across the street from us.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
That dude or whoever it is, they don't fucking want shit there.
I remember
Oh,
I reached out to
Yeah.
him whenever I had started and got the oh, you want to open a tattoo studio? Nope, click.
Yep.
Hung up on me.
yeah.
I was like-
Well, we hit them up again like sometime recently,
Yeah.
and the sign out front, it says like Midland Atlantic and the space available. So that's like who owns that building.
Yeah.
Probably not local at all. They, whoever's in
Mhm.
charge of it is somewhere else. But the realtor dude we worked with for a minute, he called them and they said straight up, no, we don't allow tattoo shops in our building. And then that was that.
Yep.
Now
Yep.
there's some other people, and I was like, well, at least they gave us a straight up answer and we can cross it off our list
Mm-hmm.
for searching. But some people will give you the runaround.
Let you come check out the place. Let you do everything.
Yeah.
Then tell you no because it's a tattoo
Yep.
studio.
Yeah.
Or not give you the time of day at all.
Yeah, they'll give you
We got
some.
that.
They'll give you some excuse, and there's no reason. Like everything matches up, and it's good. They'll give you some excuse that it's like, we'd actually prefer this to be office space, and it's like, well, the last tenant that was just there and moved out, that was a freaking shoe store.
Yeah.
It wasn't an office space. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, stop lying. Just say you don't want a tattoo shop in there, and we'll
Yeah.
move along.
Just say it with your chest, big dog.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just annoying, dude.
Yeah, no, yeah, because I was undecided on where I was going to relocate the studio, and there just wasn't anything in Columbus anymore.
Yeah, you said
so
you had a hell of a time in Columbus as well when like you
finding
kind of
things,
searched high and low for a minute, and it's like anything you checked out, it's just like hard to get in there.
Yeah, and I'm super thankful for Mick Peters giving me the opportunity to start up a business. And
OG Mick.
Yep, for sure. Peters Heating and Cooling, they're great. I rented from them for years, and gave me that in to where now like I have some type of like I can provide and show that hey, I've been a loyal renter. I've paid my taxes. I've done all this stuff.
Especially through Mick, because Mick's been in that spot for
years.
ever.
Yeah.
So he's a well-respected man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, but I remember so that was the first spot I ever looked at. And then I remember for about a week, I drove around, I think every road in this town looking at any vacant, and everything that was vacant, no tattoo studios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've done that same thing. Just literally just drive around and like jot down phone numbers and call them all.
Yep.
Because not everything that you see, like a for lease sign or for rent sign out there, especially commercial space, like those local sites, if it's like LoopNet or City Feet or whatever the other ones are that have the commercial listings for lease, they don't have everything on there. And you'll still see stuff around that like has a sign, and it's like, well, that's not on the website. I just looked at it,
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes you gotta just look out, find the right spot at the right time.
Yep, I feel like that's what I did every time, honestly. Just got lucky that whenever we moved to Central Avenue, that spot was just getting cleaned out. And then same with Nashville, that I went there to look at a completely different location. And then the lady that was meeting me there didn't have the key. So she's like, well, I have this other location. I had literally been on the plane with him describing to like what I would want in a studio if I was to reopen one, and walked in there and it was exactly what I was like, my vision was. I was like, yep, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The universe works in mysterious ways. Whatever's meant to be is meant to be. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, I need to send you all the photos of the beginning of your spot too. Ron was interested in seeing them.
of the Beam Road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With all the walls up and everything.
Yeah, I remember my first guest spot there was whenever before that wall was taken down. You know what I mean?
Well, there was a whole nother wall that was taken down too. Like that, so that one room where Olivia would be now and where Travis is, that was a whole nother room. Like that whole wall was blocked off. And then we got rid of half of it and kept the one room that where you went into where Liz is now.
Okay.
Yep. And then we put up the wall that's in between your guys' break room and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a constant changes in there.
I remember some of those.
Yep. Wild times.
Yeah, they are.
Well, thanks for doing those changes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep. I think you guys still have my sinks.
Yeah.
It's not your
we
sinks
do.
anymore.
I know. Yeah, obviously.
You said
Yeah.
our sinks.
Our sinks.
Actually, Jonathan just hit me up recently from Golden Press, and he said, "Hey, we're not renting that spot anymore where you guys were at tattooing, and we had 2 sinks in there, and those are coming out." So he's like, "Do you want these sinks back?" And I was like, "Maybe." It's like, "Let me get back to you." He said, "I'll just throw them in my storage thing. If you want them, let me know." So, by the way, if we happen to need more sinks.
He said, "Look, dog, I'm actually trying to replace a sink at my house. Can I have one?"
Well, you never know though, and that was my thought, is because if at whatever point Bartholomew County does get their health board crap together, like everywhere else, at least in Johnson County, the last 2 places I worked, you had to have, each artist had to have a sink in their own vicinity, and I don't know if it was like booths didn't necessarily have to be separated, but there had to be a sink for each artist.
Yeah.
So if you had 7 artists in there had to be 7 sinks, and you all
That's
had to have
crazy.
one right where your booth was in the vicinity, you know? So that being the case, it's like they could try to enforce things like that other people do.
I feel like we'd have to get grandfathered into what we got.
Maybe.
And you guys,
You know what I
guys
mean?
have a bullpen.
I would like to, if they end up doing any more on that, I would like to put my head and name in that hat, you know what I mean, to help get that organized and going instead of one old person doing it.
Yeah. Well, you might have to contact them about that, because
Yeah,
I
definitely.
doubt they're going to call up any other tattooers around and be
No.
like, "Hey, do you want to be a part of this?"
I don't even know if they're going to go through with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They haven't seemed to have any interest in that for a while. But they might, since, you know, everybody
would
in
love to
God's
see it
name just
happen.
wants to pop up around here.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see it happen. I don't think that it's a bad thing to have
No.
a somewhat of a governing body around safe tattooing.
Yeah.
There might have even been tattooers call about it and push them into it, because there specifically are some bitter tattooers around who are pissed that there's 6 new tattoo shops from 2 years ago
Yeah.
that have opened up, you know what I mean? And they're like not cool with it. So they want to, you know what I mean? They want people to be like at least doing it by the law and whatnot. And if not, if they can get some places closed down, I bet they wouldn't care,
Yeah.
because they
well,
just don't have respect for them, type of thing.
most of them been here anyway, so they're probably too senile to even know what the hell
Yeah.
needs to go on.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, people are going to tattoo no matter what, and we know that.
Yeah,
But
I just want it to be safe.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like at the bare minimum, it needs to be safe.
So just let me go in there and talk to the health department. I'll do it for them.
Yeah, we just don't need animals running around studios and
That,
stuff like
yeah,
yeah.
that one.
a
That one
bunch of
right
crazy
there.
stuff. But I don't know.
Yep.
well, we'll see.
Well,
You guys want to chat about anything else? You want to wrap this one up, dude?
I think we'll go ahead and wrap this one up.
Episode 3, dog.
3.
Episode 3 in the books.
Covered a
y'all.
lot of ground.
Yep. Some crazy stories. Shitty conventions.
Yeah, sorry about you, bro.
All good, dog.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and wrap that one up. Episode 3 coming at y'all. Be live soon.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube,
Yep.
y'all. Uneducated Podcast with
Check
a
our
K.
Spotify too.
Now on Spotify.
Yep.
And social medias. Let's run this again. Uneducated Podcast. Tracy Scott dot tattoos. What's yours?
Matt Jackson. My Instagram handle is Matt Jackson Tattoos.
Cool.
Slater Tattoos 100. Follow your boy.
100. Follow your boy.
Yup.
So yeah, just hit us up on social media if you guys want to ask questions or anything you want us to possibly cover on the podcast. We're taking some of those right now into consideration. So just comment, send us a message, whatever. Just be in contact, and thanks for supporting the podcast.
Yep.
Yep.
Appreciate all the engagement, all the love.
Let's hit that little
That-
harmonica, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna call it a kazoo,
Gonna
but
do it again.
yeah, bro, lead us out. That's gangster right there.
Later, y'all.
Peace.